How's it going, buckaroos? It's me. I'm back once again. Today, we've got two games to be breaking down. First off, it's Flyquest versus PSG Talon. And then we'll be going into, Fnatic versus the Gigabyte Marines. I'm currently getting ready. As you know, I'm not immediately ready most of the time for these streams. I'm just getting a little bit more comfortable. So, yeah. This should be an interesting one, to say the least. As the two teams, well, I've had a brief look-see at the results. And, yeah. Wasn't expecting one of them, shall we say. And it's kind of funny because it's it's worse than what happened to Mad, let's be honest. So I just need to stop playing WWE Supercard on my phone and get my live stream open and adjusted accordingly, because you know I like to have my chat on my phone. So there's that. I'm a little bit more relaxed today, and we're not going to be super duper fun. I'm also gonna quickly do something. There we go. So you can get a bit more noise. Let's adjust that. Anyway, let's get into game number 1. Fly are on blue, PSG are on red. Callista still could be banned. Varus. Urgot's also up. Sort of the Bwippo special. So Wukong comes through. Urgot. I think we'll get a traded them to ADCs now if PSG don't ban one out. Because what else is there? Azir? There's not too many strong mid laners either left up and available to these two teams, shall we say. So probably expect them to be banned, but no. Ori's removed, so that should probably mean ADC trade Callista. Or not. Callista. Maybe the Varus. So it's preferential, so you go Callista Ashe. You kind of have to deny the Ashe pick because it'll come through there, but Senna's also up. I keep forgetting this is a champion. So, yeah. Tom Kench Senna would work. They're gonna go for it. Presume TK here. Get the scaling factor or Azir. And just have mass scaling on your side. Because the amount of mid laners up and available is like Hui. Azir. There's a few, but I think you kind of have to go with Azir here. Even though they are hovering the Nautilus and locking it in. Okay. So, Fly can either go Enchanter, like Renata, or they can go for like a strong engage option. I mean, there isn't too many. I think you kind of want to go for the more pokey route. So, you could go Karma to get a mixture of both Enchanter and Poke, but Renata does about the same in terms of the Poke, just slightly less damage. But realistically speaking, you kind of want to look at what PSG will go alongside this Nautilus for frontline. Because Sedge is up and available. Maybe Fly take that now. Take Sedge on 3. They're going to take the Urgot, never mind. I think you kind of go Sedge. Don't reveal too much of your hand. Because you know Inspired's going to go carry in the jungle. So you can go ban out Viego. Graves, he played that. Didn't get too much success, but I think you may see them. Or PSG lock in their mid lane and ignore the obvious drafting of jungle. I'd much rather prefer to have seen Sedge here in 3. Because then you're not revealing too much. And now, coming into ban phase 2, there was always going to be a mismatch in terms of picks being locked in. Got Cassante could be banned. Renekton. Strong picks into the Urgot. Sedge is being removed by PSG. So Sedge... TF's removed. So they're banning Tots, which is smart. Sedge. What else? Volley? Or Viego? Because if they do that, they can go for Zindao. I always forget he's a champion. So, realistically speaking, you can kind of go here for the Volley. Then Flyquest go, Viego. And then, what are they missing? Mid lane? Hui, I guess. Hui as a whole is very hard to play into this sort of lineup, but you then look at available mid laners. LeBlanc. Humanoid's been playing it, so it's found its way into the meta. LeBlanc wouldn't be terrible here for Jensen. And it's one of his signature picks, if you think about it. I think that would work. Actually, they're going for the Viego. That's huge, because now the options for Inspired is quite limited. You kind of have to think he'll probably go for a out-and-out carry. That's, because you've got top, Maokai, okay. It's a weird one. I'm very confused by this draft. It's, I mean, you've got the two synergizing champions of Renata and Mao, because you have just that massive AoE controlling ultis that just section teams. But, and then you've also got the whale. You've got a lot of CC on this Flyquest side. But damage could be quite limited, because it's going to be quite hard for them to set down where they want to play. As Nautilus and Azir can easily get into the backline, because there's not enough peel. You've got CC, but you just don't have peel in this lineup. And so if one gets through, Maokai goes on them, the other can just easily get into the backside. It's quite a hard thing to peel. Renata's got to do a lot of work here in order to keep the Varus alive, and it's going to be a lot more harder with this Rumble, because essentially the idea of this comp from PSG is hook, that target's then rooted, Rumble drops the equalizer as the hook's coming through as a carpet that just makes it really hard for essentially the target that's hooked to do anything. And while everyone's trying to deal with that, Azir gets into the back line. Same with the Viego. And Senna's just free firing. That's essentially the PSG comp as the game goes on. And personally speaking, I think it's a lot easier to execute than what Fly have. So, game number one of this best of 3. Winner advances to the bracket stage, losers out. Only one can make it. Who will it be? Let's get into game 1 of this series. Pulled the trigger a little early on the intro there, but hey, just taking a look. Already starting to see a lane swap being formed with Mizu up in the top side. Will it be matched is the real question. I don't think so, with RZ still being top. He'll eventually path his way down, but looking at the summoners, nothing out of the ordinary there, to be honest. Comment on Rumble's kind of interesting, because in the lane swap, it's not going to really do too much. So as the game goes on, it's kind of a weak summoner, if a lane swap does come into fruition. But hey. Jensen's War going to be spotted. So, the start of Junjai may get known to to Fly, as Urgot's hovering with his jungler, trying to just help clear, get a speedy clear into probably an early gank. The lane swap finally will be spotted here once Fly showed. There you go. So, yeah, Comet's now in a situation where it's not really going to get too much use in a push. A lane where you're playing on the back foot. Is Urgot going to just walk in to this Nautilus matchup? Mid, already seeing Hui getting damage down, level 2. So you got access to the E. And then you've got your Qs, spells. So you're going to have a lot of burst. And it's quite easy to land with the roots that you get from the Hui kit. Now, don't ask me to name his abilities. I think he's got Unrelenting Despair as one. I don't know the full names. The Meteor Strike as well. Anyway, top side, this is just a harassment lane. Harassing and getting free push. Bot side, the wave's been stacked up well. No dive just yet. Viego's not in a position to go for the 3v1. But PSG are just content to deny as many minions. This is something I like about Urgot, though, in the lane swap. Because he has like a similar ability as Graves, where his auto attacks like do AoE if he has the leg. It's kind of easy, as there you go, there's the TP to respond to the plane. That's actually quite nice. It's the Nautilus that comes up. It's not going to be any of the other side laners to respond, like the Azir. Nautilus, obviously a farming champ in this situation. But Senna is going to be okay to get a few farm for herself. I like it. Now, obviously, Flyquest, if Jensen roamed up there, could have actually forced the 4v2 dive. But it's a 2v2 lane yet again. Rumble's going to take it back. I'm just looking at where Senna is. She's pathing up to mid. So she's just going to take the long route up here. Force a play onto Jensen, who, bear in mind, has no mobility spells except for the WQ. He isn't going to use it, but he does dodge out on the Senna W. So, content, happy. The support making her way across the rift. Will eventually path back down because Bwippo's starting to get some farm. He's already got a little lead over this Rumble, which is huge, considering all that happened was a TP burn. Was forced out by Fly. Now a wave's crashing into the spot lane tier 1. Rumble's going to get a few CS for himself. He's missing quite a bit. He's not doing the best of jobs here to get all the farm. He finally does get the remaining minions. And yeah. A little bit of a gold lead for the mid lane as Jensen gets push out. Renata comes down, provide a bit of safety to allow for the back to come through for the Hui. Just looking, tier picked up, boots as well. Boots are sitting mainly in the big pickup there off that back. So actually both mid laners getting it back. Both TPing back in as well as Renata, rooted in place, going to be locked up by the center as well. And now it's a 2v2 matchup that Fly tried to avoid. They aren't going to, well, that was a lot of damage onto the center, but there's no kills going to happen there. I'm interested just to see the bot lane matchup, because it looks like Rumble's managed to get pushed for himself. Now the tried and tested objective trade. It's going to be on Vision. So Fly are going to be in a situation where their jungler's presence is known. So PSG could start to feel a little bit more confident in the spot side. So you're going to probably see Rumble playing with a bit more aggression. And yeah, top side, Void Grubby secured for Fly. Going to get 3. And the possibilities of a tower diver there. The wave going to be cut though. So because there isn't enough minions to go for it now. But hey, look at mid. It's just a farm fest, to be honest. That it's evened out. Oh, not gonna land the E into QW. It's such a hard thing to do with Hui, is remember the ability names. Meteor Strike's the only real one that I remember that's very potent because it does percentage missing health damage. If we want to get a bit nerdy. I mean, we're breaking down a series here. It's going to be a little bit nerdy. But yeah. XP levels, I mean, it's fairly even in the mid lane. 2 tried and true tested mid laners on the international stage. Big names for their respective regions. And Jensen's respective region is the LCS, by the way, I should say. He wasn't really that big in Europe. Anyway. Let's get going. Let's see, where do we think first blood will happen? Well, personally, I think PSG are happy to just stay farming. Their comp scales exceptionally well. Senna and Azir, 2 of the best scaling champions in the game. Urgot has a massive power spike at level 16. So there's one aspect where Flyquest will be happy to scale, leaving that matchup in good steed for them. Top side, TP used here by Bwipo. It's a full lane swap yet again. Flyquest go to the bot side with their bot lane. Whereas PSG have the Senna and the Rumble down farming together again. This is the style that Flyquest have been doing, is forcing the support to have to hover around the top laner. And it's not good because they're kind of splitting the XP pretty awkwardly here. Because Nautilus, he's getting a bit of farm while everything's going on as mid. That's going to be the Emperor's Divide used as Jensen. Quite low on mana. Won't fall. No Summoner's Burn either. So getting a bit aggressive. No real position there for PSG to make a gank. No one was there to kind of go for it. Inspired probably would have been able to get down if there was one anyway. But yeah. Taking a look at everything. Back going to come through from Nautilus. There's also a back from the Senna. Looks like they're going to try and regroup now. Together around the objective. As Viega's also pathing up topside. I think PSG probably going to set up a tower dive onto Bwipo. Which is quite a hard thing to do. Because it's Urgot. He gets the empowered E shield in. Not empowered. He gets the E shield. And he should be quite fine. if he lands it. Good denial of the back there by Busio. Level 6s on the board. Busio actually is same level as Betty. I just looked across and saw Nautilus is a higher level than this Renato. Why? And then I realized it's a Senna that's the support in this game. No dive gonna come through just yet. Instead, it looks like PSG are rotating to Void Grubs, which denies the 6 stack from Fly. Just looking where Maokai is, and it looks to be like they're gonna just trade Drake for Grubbies again. So it's gonna be a split on the objectives, it feels like. Now, Fly are well aware that they've been taken. 2 seconds on the straight. That could be a contest, all things considered. But Fly have the bot lane in the bot lane. Flash out from Jensen. He's going to be targeted for first blood. Good Spectral Maw flash from Junjai to secure first blood. And there you go. Kind of interesting to see what happened there in Jensen's mind. Because my perspective is Void Grubs get taken. Champions are going to start pathing out or backing. So realistically speaking, you should be playing further back, knowing full well the Grubs have been taken. So I think that's kind of a misplay. Though it's mentality based. I think, obviously, the issue with Hui is he has no mobility spells, bar the WQ. And that's just a movement speed buff. That's a straight line. So, as a whole, it's very easy for PSG to get onto him. Now, obviously, if Jensen plays it well, he's going to get away 9 times out of 10. Like what we saw originally, where he didn't burn his flash against the Emperor's Divide. But it's still a awkward situation to be in, because 9 times out of 10, this play is always going to happen. He should have flashed earlier, to be honest. I'm going to just go back a few seconds. So we watch it. There should be where you're flashing. You shouldn't really be hit by the Emperor's Divide like this. Like, he turns, autos. No, he turns and Qs. He tries to... Not Qs. He tries to EQ, sorry. And fear the Azir, who's already got behind him with the flash. So, yeah. You should have just used your flash, to be honest, earlier. That's the simple way of thinking about it. The only winning thing that Fly get out of it is no flash onto the mid laner, no flash on the jungle or support. So they're all just susceptible to being killed. Senna especially is quite easy to kill now for the next few minutes. But whether or not Fly make a play is very hard to state, because there's a reason why I always say Inspire plays carries. It's because he is a farm-heavy jungler. He likes to farm rather than making plays for his lanes, because usually his lanes just draft winning matchups that he doesn't need to impact. So, in a game like this, where you're playing a gank-heavy, objective-controlling champion, you need to make plays in order to get your laners into a strong position. And we're just not seeing it, because right now, PSG are aware of their summoners being burnt, so they're grouping up. Jungle hovering around their bot laners who are in mid now. Top has the mid laners in it. And Jensen now has no flash, so the potential turret dive could come through if the wave wasn't killed off there. So good work there by Jensen to kill the wave, even though it's unknown to him that he was in potential danger. Anyway, mid sees the junglers hovering around. The ADCs and the support's just going to be playing content. Herald is what these two teams are trying to fight for right now. And to be honest, I don't think Fly can really step up. PSG are a lot stronger. And now with a flank coming in from behind, Rumble's going to be potentially killed off here. That's going to be the equalizer drop just to kill the wave. And there you go. Kill goes over to Bwipo. And Flyquest get on the board, finally. This should definitely mean, though, that Herald goes over to PSG as the Nature's Grasp thrown out there by Inspired. Just for the hell of it. Doesn't really do too much. It's Bwipo tanking tower bot side. He's looking to get first tower blood. Never mind. Second tower blood, I forgot to mention. Because Maple's already got the first one in top lane. It's interesting, though, that Bwipo took that much damage off the tower. Trying to secure it. But he's going to deny a wave. No one there to actually get it just yet. Rumble comes down. He was trying to farm up the Gromp. Because he realized he couldn't really step up. Obviously, with Jensen was down there. But Jensen shows top side. And, yeah, simple as you like. Tower for tower trade. PSG, though, getting the tower quicker, getting the kills quicker, and getting the objectives quicker, to be honest. As Bwipo could be caught out here. Jumped on. Senna's coming down, but the Hex Gates are going to be used by Flyquest to join up with their top laner. Spire's on his way to make a play, but the top laner gets the bot lane tier 1 here. Does our good Junjai. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Not Junjai. It's Arzi. I'm so dumb. Anyway. Let's discuss what's going on right now. Let's take a look at items. It's an interesting thing to look at in terms of the supports. But, just take a look. Namori Quick Blades picked up for Senna. Versus no completed items on this Renata. It's kind of impressive. You've got Hollow Radiant to Namori. Because that's who have been farming in that bot lane. It's an interesting one to see. Gold lead certainly in favour of PSG. By 2k. And you can see it very evidently in the bot lane. Now, obviously Renata no item means that there isn't really any chance for Flyquest to step up into the Drake pit. They are going to deny the crash out from Herald, but it's so late that Drake's already down. The potential fight could come through as an Nature's Grasp is slow. That's a great equalizer as it's burning through the health bars. No one has fallen yet, as Inspire's already incredibly low. Bwipo secures the first kill of the fight as Woody falls. And the damage is quite high from Fly. Let's be honest. They're doing a lot of work to that backline. Getting the kill in that fight as well. So, as a whole, that looked very good for Fly. Though they do lose out on the second Drake for themselves. We just need to look at what happened. Essentially, they just force onto Nautilus. No real protection. Good flash out there by Inspired. Because he would have been roasted with this Flame Spitter. Bwipo secures a kill with the Unrelenting Despair. Never mind, we're already going Fear Beyond Death, sorry. Go back to live. Already a kill over to Flyquest as they kill off the Rumble. But the re-engage coming through. That's an Emperor's Divide and a half. Viego and Nautilus securing kills for the team as Flyquest overstep into the jungle. Inspired's the only man left as wow. Overchase of the century. That's what needs to be said. You go into the choke point and get punished. Now PSG are well in control of this game. To be honest, off all them picks, Still not a completed item in Renata's back pocket. That's a telltale sign of how this game's going. So yeah. It looks like they catch Rumble. They get a good pullback. It's a 2v1. Now it's a 2v2. They could have realistically backed off here. But they're just thinking, we've got man advantage here. We can continue. But they don't respect a TP flank. In from behind comes Maple. The flash whips everyone back in. And everyone falls. Simple as you like. The equalizer back on live is dropped down. Not going to do too much as the unrelenting despair into the fear beyond death. Everyone is feared up here as Bwippo's in the backline, but he isn't that tanky just yet. He's going to be not bailed out, and all of Flyquest forced to run yet again. Maple is a massive threat, and so is this Viego, as Junjai just popping off in the backline. He's hunting for Inspired. He knows Baron's up on the table. The triple kill to the PSG jungler, and this spells doom and gloom for Flyquest as the chase down comes through. No more from the Viego as he ults back out. The Heartbreaker is just gonna be an escape tool more than anything. And wow. It's the common trend so far. Flyquest get the first kill of the fight, and then PSG just wipe the floor with them. They exert so much onto one carry, it doesn't end well. As this time, it's the fact that they go on to this Rumble yet again. They use the Fear Beyond Death. It's a weird combo that kind of works, the Hawaii Ergot combo. But, like, Bwippo goes too far in. His team's already incredibly chunked, so they're forced to run. The reset city machine of the Viego's continuing to do work. He gets another kill there just to end out. 4 kills over to PSG, I believe. And what do you know? Fly feed more kills into this Viego, who's now sitting quite heavily. Wow, that gold graph. Like, boom. Just insane. And this is an issue because Flyquest aren't the scaling team. That's PSG. The Azir, the Senna, both potent threats the longer this game goes on. And with the fact that they're already in an advantageous position, Fly are going to have to do something big if they want to get back into this. And you kind of have to turn to Bwippo. The guy's been popping off during this tournament so far. But can he do it again? I think the biggest issue for Fly is the fact that they've not really utilized a Renata pick too heavily in going for tower dives early. They could have used it with the bailout. But hey, at least now she's got an item. Redemption picked up. Is there any redeeming factors to the pick so far? Not entirely sure that can be said. Anyway, 2 items on this Viego. 2 on the Azir. Versus 2 on this Hui. I'm gonna be honest. This game's looking dire for Fly. They're trying to hunt for a pick, but Inspired's not going to continue to chase. Obviously, Emperor's Divide would have bought time for Maple to make his escape. But hey, it is what it is, and Flyquest are kind of in a situation where they can't do too much. So, how do we see any sort of playback from Fly? Because they've not got objectives. And in fact, soul points up in 4 minutes. Baron is quite easily startable here for PSG. They're clearing out vision. The only good thing is there's a ward there for Fly. That means that any start of that objective is going to be known. But they can't necessarily do too much, as finally Senna's farming. You've got Nautilus, who's very tanky. Frozen Heart, Hollow Radiance for himself. Oh, they're setting up a Fnatic Death Brush. PSG going to be forwarded by a sapling, though. As everything looked to be doom and gloom, but the pick could still happen. The bottom bars disappeared. That usually spells fight time. But nothing's going to come through just yet. Vision going to be cleared out. Flyquest. Just clearing the minions. Can't do too much more than that. As Smite used there by Inspired, by the way. It's kind of big. Means that you won't have it for the red buff. And so Nature's Grass could be thrown out. Flyquest getting caught up in this choke point yet again. The redemption's going to be used, but it's just in time to keep them up and alive through the equalizer as Rumble is on the back end. As that is a massive Hwei ultimate. Jensen gets the first kill of the fight as a meteor lands down on top of this Nautilus. The continued chase comes through as another one lands, but will not result in a kill because that piercing light from the center keeps the Nautilus alive. As a whole, that's a good pick for Flyquest, but it did look pretty scary from the get-go due to the fact that that choke point is very hard to fight in if you're Fly. So we watch it again. The Nature's Grass basically whiffs, and the Nautilus engages onto Bwipo. Not the most ideal target, but Bwipo's very tanky now. He's able to stand in front of them. The equalizer does work, but the redemption's a little bit better. Then it's just the massive ulti out from Jensen that does so much damage. And Fly basically get for themselves a big teamfight win. So, with that kill in the back pocket, it will probably result in not too much in terms of the status of the game. There's no objectives to fight over. That being said, objectives are spawning pretty soon. A minute on this Hex Soul for PSG. And I think that's where Flyquest need to be setting up. Like, rapido setup on it. I'm intrigued to see if Jensen takes it back right now. Nope. Doesn't have any more items to be picked up. He has got that Crypto Bloom. So the healing if he gets a big kill. And the sustain, going to be there. Fly going to be content with that one. Big item, to say the least. But so does Maple. Maple has that one as well. So, to be honest, item-wise, it's fairly similar at this stage of the game, even though there is a 5k goal lead. I think the big difference is in the support role where them items are. Because as a whole, Flyer fairly even on items as the engage comes through. Inspired gets rooted up, but he's able to flash away. The equalizer dropped on top as the Dawn Shadow also utilized. But that's a massive root out from PSG. They're not going to push the tempo just yet. It's Flyquest incredibly low. They're going to have to force something. I think they'll have to force Baron. Because they can't fight for Soul. As PSG are already set up. TP's going to come in. PSG gonna start this Drake and secure Soul for themselves as their turret in the mid lane. Maple gonna just corral Flyquest up to the top half of the map. Because now he gets a free push in mid. This is so good. Because PSG have full control of mid lane. No tier 2 there, so there isn't the ability for Flyquest. Well, there isn't ability for PSG to get anything. As bottom side, Bwipo just running down this rumble. As you do. He's going to be able to get this kill eventually. As the legs are just slowing down this rumble. One more auto will do it. There you go. It's going to be Baron secured though on the top half of the fight. As PSG just burst it down. Bwipo not in a position to TP in. but he still has the possibility to do so. He's recalling, so he could go for it as Nautilus going to be hit by the Void, the Meteor Strike. TP going to come in from Bwipo finally, and he's hunting. He sees PSG, but he is rooted in place. The ulti goes wide there from the Urgot as well. So no chase down ability here for Fly anymore. PSG happy, content to step forward, as they're the ones with the TP play readily and available. 6 seconds on Rumble as they're going in on top of the Urgot. Dawning Shadow hits massively as that Redemption's in such a poor position. TP in from behind. The Rumble is here. He's ready to cook up some damage as he's getting on top of this Urgot. The Equalizer's good as it slows down members of Flyquest, as Bwipo is the first to fall. PSG have got the Baron ready and available to go, but no wave, as that's a massive back denial. Hui going to be forced to run away. And it's now just... What was that? Maple does a lot of damage. What? He just deleted the Flyquest bot lane. And now on the push PSG, I think Hexol played a massive part in that one. They're going to be able to get this game over and done with here, I feel. Inspired not really been able to do much on this pick. Kind of a telltale sign, to be honest, as to how this series has gone so far. He's stepping forward, but he's stepping right into PSG. 2 inhibitors down. Fly gonna survive just now. The Baron wearing off in 40 seconds though for PSG. They could look to push again, but watch this again, top side. Okay, where are we? We're just at a stage where Dawning Shadow just forces all damage down. The Redemption's pretty poor, to be honest. It's not in a retreating position. So then Bwipo, he kind of plays a sacrificial lamb play, as the rest of his team just get cooked up. The Equalizer's perfect. And then watch Maple. Simple as that. It's a good denial of the back there by Betty. But Maple's coming in on the side. Soldier over the wall, dash through. Yeah, the autos do it for this Azir. And the flash was also burnt out from Mizzou. Not expecting that much damage out from Maple's Azir. Simple as you like, to be honest. From the PSG mid laner to secure that one. So, Baron's worn off. We've got a minute 55 until, well, Elder. I don't think we'll get there, considering PSG are on the push right now. Just looking to see. It's a 5-man group up. No one's on the split. That's kind of shocking. I would like to have seen that here in this situation. But you're then realizing there's no TPs, bar Nautilus, bar this Azir. And they really want to be grouped up. So Rumble can't play sides. The Azir tower's dropped instead. Never mind, Rumble's playing sides. Nature's Grass gonna burn the flash out, but not result in a kill as a bot lane inhibitor tower falls. The inhib now the next target for PSG. And the base of Flyquest is in tatters. Another Dawning Shadow land as a massive ulti from Senna does work. The light bindings and whatever it's called, the W's from Senna doing work here for PSG as the Nexus Tower #1 has fallen. Bwipo stepping forward, being cooked to a crisp as on the bottom half of the fight. That's a massive knock-up. The Empress Divide finds 3, and all of PSG are celebrating because they've defeated the major region team in Flyquest in the first game of this series. What a game from the PCS representatives. Wow. Very dominant as this game went on. And that's the issue with drafting early game, is you get outscaled pretty quickly. And PSG punished this Flyquest squad in a long game. But obviously, the second game, a lot shorter. We're not going to watch it because it's just decimation. Simply put, Rumble. Rumble ASOL. Just that strong. Zeros across the board, bar Inspired. This is what happens when you give Inspired a carry. He pops off. But the rest of his team suffers. And that's a huge issue with Flyquest coming into summer. They do good. And they made it to MSI because they play well. But it's the issue of if Inspired's not playing carries, this team suffers. And his style is very selfish. So, as a whole, if we just go to his profile, I think all time his win rate is so low. Wait, that's at MSI. There we go. His win rate's quite high. But you look at his plays, I'm surprised Sedge is up there the most. This is an issue. Because I think PSG in both games banned out Sedge. Yeah. That tells you something. PSG did their homework on Inspired. He's played it the most. And it's his most comfortable, supportive jungler. His Viego's his best in terms of getting kills and everything. Because he has got a pentakill on it. And I remember that game, it was on Rogue. He just popped off. But like, you look at it as a whole, it was very much the fact that Sejuani is probably his best pick for this meta. And PSG punished. The fact that this graph here, this is game 1. You want to look at game 2. This graph here tells you something. In the jungle, it was close, but still, Junjai outperformed. And simple as you like. I think Flyquest need to consider their jungle more than anything. He's great. I rate him as a jungler, but is his pool deep enough for the international stage? That's the real question. Because you need a deep pool that's able to play the more supported picks. It's like Yankos. He's a great jungler. He can play carries, but he's more known for his supportive role on Sedge and, well, Sedge mainly. So yeah, I think that sort of shift up for this Flyquest squad is kind of needed coming into summer. As for PSG, I can't really say much more than Rumble toasted everyone to a crisp. Maple was doing Maple things and performing exceptionally well. Then the bot lane played fine. They were happy and content in their matchup, so yeah. Overall, a really good performance out from PSG. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one. So I'm actually going to end it here, to be honest. Because tomorrow's bank holiday Monday, I'm able to do a stream tomorrow during the day. So, because there's also no games tomorrow, I don't think, if I check MSI, it would help if I could spell. MSI 2024. Is there any games tomorrow? Tuesday. So, here's the thing. I don't know the matchups. Monday, we're going to know every matchup. And we're going to basically do everything tomorrow. I'll probably make a video for predicting the bracket stage. Who knows? Anyway, with that, thank you very much for joining me today. Fnatic versus Gam tomorrow. These look very long, to be honest. So, here's hoping for a good one. See you guys then.